As always, guys, welcome back to the channel. It is always good to see you. Now, what are we talking about in today's video? Well, we're gonna go back into a topic that we filmed a video on a few weeks ago, talking about the difference between business credit cards and business credit lines. So what's the big difference? So here's the difference, guys, right here. You got all these different cards. These are business credit cards. If used correctly, they're gonna change your business and make you successful. If used incorrectly, they can really hurt you and you can potentially end up in bankruptcy and losing everything that you have. So be very smart, safe, and intelligent when using these cards. Now, we filmed a video a couple weeks ago talking about the main differences between business credit cards and credit lines. And some of y'all contact us asking, Connor, here's the deal. I've already got some of these credit cards. I know you said they're risky, but I also know that you said you should be using them in your business if you're doing so intelligently and safely. So if we have cards already, do we continue to use them or do we not? And if we do use them, what's the best use of those cards? So guys, here's the deal. If you cannot go get a credit line from the bank, one big credit line, right, that you can write a check off of, and you can only get business credit cards, my opinion is go for it. I use them in my business. Yes, they got me in trouble, but I was able to get out of it and I couldn't have built my business without them. So what were some of the things that I use these cards for? So quickly, let's recap the difference between a credit line and credit cards. A credit line and a credit cards could be there, or say you get a credit line and credit cards, but you get a $100,000 balance for both. Over here, the $100,000 credit line will be one credit line. You can literally write a check off it. Say you want to buy a house for $70,000 that needs $30,000 repair. You can go do that deal. If you have $100,000 in credit cards, that's 10, 15 different credit cards with $5,000 balance here with a $600 cash advance, another card that's $7,000 with a $1,000 cash advance. You can't simply go cash or pay cash and write a check off that credit line to go buy that house and fix it up, right? So if you can't raise private money and you can't get a real credit line and you don't have the money to get into a hard money loan, how are you gonna start buying houses? Is there still a use for these business credit cards? Because I know a lot of y'all went to a credit card company, they told you they're gonna get you credit lines, and they told you, oh, well, even though we're gonna get you a bunch of different credit cards, it's the same thing as a credit line. And we'll tell you all these different ways that you can pull the cash off that are gonna be really, really easy, that are not really, really easy, right? And they can cause problems. So let's say you did get a bunch of credit cards and you still need to grow your business. What are you gonna do, right? So the first thing that I used my credit cards for when I was running my business was all my monthly subscriptions, right? So I can set up, my websites, my monthly subscriptions for, DocuSign, which is a digital signature program, your back-end office, your CRM program, really anything and everything that's gonna be a monthly subscription. $19.99 here, $29.99 there, $99.99 there. You can set these up on auto pay so you can set it and forget it. You don't even have to worry about it. So this is a great use when you're starting a business, just pay all your monthly subscriptions. Now, another thing that you can use these cards for is basically paying for your marketing materials, right? You're gonna have to generate leads somehow to pay these cards down. So you can buy your postcards, you can buy internet paid ads like Facebook paid ads, Google ads. You can go pay for, bandit signs, anything and everything that you can swipe a card for as far as marketing goes. This is a great use for their business credit cards. Now, the other thing that you need to use these deals for is paying for, or use these credit cards for, is paying for materials on the properties that you're working on if you're at that stage in your business where you're actually taking title to properties. So you're gonna have what's called the gap, right? So say you wanna buy a house and you're gonna have to have some type of gap funding to fund the part of the project that your lender's not funding. So say you needed to borrow $100,000 to do the whole deal, but your lender's only gonna lend $85,000. That means there's a $15,000 difference, or the gap. And not many lenders are gonna come in and fund that gap for you, especially if you're inexperienced and there's not enough room in the deal. So how are you gonna fund that $15,000 to finish it if you don't have it out of pocket? Well, you can use these business credit cards to go to Lowe's, Home Depot. You can go to basically any surplus store and buy your materials. You can buy your sheetrock, your tile, your paint, anything and everything that you need to finish that project, so you can basically go fund the gap. It's a very good use. This is what we still use our credit cards for now that we have bigger balances. We use these to fund the gap instead of having to try to deal with these gap lenders that are gonna try to charge us 18% or something like that. So that's a great usage. Now, that being said, I know what you're saying. We still have cash advances available on these cards. So what do we use these small cash advances for? So the main thing you want to use these cash advances for, guys, are for if you're getting into a hard money loan or private money loan to close that deal. Because what if you have to come out of pocket a few grand for closing costs or insurance, or to pay those points up front for your hard money lender who's going to fund the rest? So sometimes you need $2,000 to $5,000, $6,000, and if you can pull a little bit off each card, you can sometimes fund that. The other thing that's good for cash advances is once you get into a deal and you're rehabbing that property, you're going to have workers that most likely do not accept credit cards, and you may not have another way to pay them. And if you don't have the cash, that project's going to stop and not go forward. So specifically here in Texas, guys, we have a lot of undocumented workers. Not saying it's good or bad either way. I'm just saying that's what the issue is. And they don't take credit cards. They don't have merchant accounts, and you're going to have to pay them cash. Now, you can pull that off and pay them. The other thing you can do with these cards, guys, is you can use it as far as like a PayPal account. You can pay them essentially the same way you would pay them with cash, but you're paying them through PayPal using your card. Now you are going to get charged a fee, but if they're making you pay them through that type of payment plan through PayPal, they should pay that 3% out of their side because it's the inconvenience that they're causing you with your business. So those are kind of some of the basic ways that we use these business credit cards in our business. When I started out and I was a new wholesaler, I was using them to fund all the basically monthly subscriptions, all my marketing materials, and basically all the materials at my properties that I couldn't buy because I didn't have cash to buy, that I needed to buy to finish these projects. And it's what I was using the cash advances for, was I was pulling the cash advances off to pay my labor costs and sometimes to get these deals closed. So those are some of the good uses, guys. And also, if you're able to use PayPal, you can pull more cash off. Now, you can go get what's called a balance transfer from time to time. So check with your banks and make sure they don't have a special offer where you can transfer that whole balance of that card off using a balance transfer, which now you do have the cash to use it all, and that could be a big benefit. But if you're not getting a credit line, a single credit line, then you're gonna have trouble doing what you want with it, which is buying a house and fixing it up using all the cash for that one project. But if you can get a credit line, that's the best use. You can literally go buy a house for say $50,000, $60,000, put $15,000, $20,000 in it, force depreciation up, go back to the bank and finance out, or you can just do a regular fix and flip and buy the house, fix it up, and sell the house and make a profit. Or if you're wholesaling and you don't want to wholesale that deal and you want to close on the property, you can take that credit line, close on the house, and put it on the MLS and wholesale it through the MLS, doing what's called a wholesale deal, and make the highest profit that you can. So guys, I hope that helped you kind of understand what's a good use of these cards. Be careful. Do not go spend freely, because I know a lot of y'all want to get your business off the ground quickly. Be smart with your marketing. Don't make a bunch of stupid mistakes like I did, which is just trying to get a bunch of marketing out there. Make sure you're getting good marketing out there, because you don't want to end up $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in debt, and all of a sudden 20% interest kicks in when the 0% period ends up. So guys, just be safe.